All right. So, hey, I haven't had a live broadcast in quite some time. Part of it is because Facebook is really hostile these days, and I get it. So I'm creating other avenues. I've already been working on one, working on more. But anyway, um, I'm here. So, what I want to talk about today is this whole Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion case, and why it's problematic. It's problematic for a number of reasons. One, let's start with the whole "Believe Black Women" slogan that has been attached to it. That's a little scary, and it's scary because you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to express yourself, or if you don't go along with the narrative, you will be summarily dismissed and or accused of hating black women, which is retarded because this isn't about this, or this should not be a referendum on believing black women. What this should be is a legal case, a case about legalities, like any other case, right? What this should be is a case about the truth, a case about issues, a case about what the evidence is, what we can prove, what we can't prove. So let me get down to it and say what I really think stinks to high hell. The fact that this man was convicted and was convicted on charges that can get him or will apparently get him 20 years uh, without any evidence. The charges are discharging a firearm with gross negligence, assault with a semi automatic firearm, and carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle. Now, I'm not an attorney, but I'm smart. And I'm also an American citizen. Let me tell you why I have a problem with him being convicted of those charges. And here's something that people are not talking about. I haven't heard anybody talk about this, even the people who, are trying to support Tory Lanez. I stayed out of it because I'm like, I don't know what happened. I don't really know these people. I don't listen to their music, whatever. But I jumped in it because here's what I realized. And if you didn't know this, this should freak you out. It should anger you. And as a black man, it should scare the shit out of you. We're dealing with gun charges, right? With gun charges, it's pretty easy to gather evidence. You have gunshot residue. That's first and foremost. So I don't know when they took the gun, when they examined it, but there are two other pieces that are missing. There are fingerprints on the guns, but not Tory Lanez. How are you convicting him of gun charges, but you don't have fingerprints on the gun? There are fingerprints on, I believe, the magazine and some of the shells, but not Tory Lanez. You're going to give this man 20 years and you don't have any fingerprints on a gun. Let me say it again succinctly. You're convicting him on gun charges, but you don't have fingerprints on the gun. Okay, so that's disturbing. Let me tell you what else is disturbing. That some people don't give a shit. They don't care. They just want it, their pound of flesh. And again, as black men, here's why you and black women, if you have black men in your lives that you love, you should be absolutely frightened. Because what this means is that This man is going to have his life taken away from him without a scintilla of evidence. Here's what they used to convict him. Again, I'm not an attorney, but the portions of the law that I understand, I'm speaking on. I'm not going to speak on anything else that I don't understand, even though everybody else is doing it. Here's what I understand. I understand that the most unreliable witness that you can have is an eyewitness, right? Someone who was on the scene and says, here's what I saw. That's a problem. But that's what they're using. They don't have anyone who took video evidence. They don't have anyone who took pictures. They don't have any DNA. They don't have any fingerprints. They have some people who said he shot her and he should go to jail. And he's going to go to jail. I'm sure he'll appeal. There will be an appeal. And I hope that, they can, the defense, his attorneys can present a real case and say, hey, listen, present the evidence. There is no evidence. Present the DNA, present the fingerprints. But I am disturbed that in some of these discussions on the social media, people are angry if you bring up the lack of evidence. People are angry if you mention that there's no evidence. People are angry if you mention that there is only an eyewitness testimony. That's scary, because what that is saying, that's saying people are saying, I don't care. Convict him because I want her to be believed. Now, if it was convict him and he's going to get 6 months probation, whatever, I don't know the guy, shit, go get him. But 20 years, and you don't have anything. You don't have anything. You don't have, like I said, there's no fingerprint on the gun. There's no DNA. His DNA is not on the gun. We're dealing with, gun charges that cannot be proven, but were proven or used to convict him and send him away. So I think I want to focus for a minute on the whole believe black woman piece. And that's scary because it's not that we shouldn't believe black women. We should believe black women or black men when there is a compelling case and we know that, they should be believed. We've got evidence. We've got, someone took a video, someone took pictures. But, let's go back to that night. Because here's what we know. We know that she and her girl were having beef before he even got there, because he was, banging both of them. He was with her, but banging her homegirl. So they had beef. They were fighting. Apparently, they got into it and some shots were fired. Then she was leaving, but then got with him. She wanted to charge him up and, oh, you did this, you did that. And so they started beefing. They had, words. And I'm just like, at some point, it turned into something. How did it get to the point where he shot her, which is what they're saying, and now he's going to jail? Let's talk about this too. Because, on social media, they've convicted him before the court did. And they've got evidence that the court never saw. Because they're saying, well, he shot her. He shot her in the foot, which is a damn lie, because you can't be shot in the foot. There is no fleshy part of the foot. You can get shot in the thigh and it'll miss a bone. There's no fleshy part of the foot that you can shoot without tearing through some bones and some ligaments. And that just didn't happen. What did happen, they're saying that she has bullet fragments in her feet, which means that someone shot near her foot. And that is consistent with, some with people saying that he shot and said dance bitch. So shot at her feet. But again, you don't have any fingerprints on the bullet shells. You don't have any fingerprints on the gun. You don't have his DNA on the bullet shells. You don't have his DNA on the gun. Where do you get the conviction? Like, where does the conviction come from? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm going to tell you where it comes from. So this is going to piss people off. And I don't care, because you're already pissed off because I don't agree that he should go to jail for 20 years. So let me just piss you off some more. We have had a war between black men and black women. It's been raging. Well, it started a little bit over 40 years ago, but it's been raging out of control for the last 10 to 15 years. And there's hatred on both sides, and there's ugliness on both sides. And what we're seeing with this case is a case where people have taken sides, not based on evidence, not based on any rule of law. People have taken sides based on whether or not you believe black women. And if you believe black women, then you have to believe Megan Thee Stallion. That's it. That's it. Not, yes, we know that they found fingerprints. We know that they found DNA. So throw that man in jail. It's not what it is. It's not what it is. What it is people are believing what they want to believe based on their emotions. And unfortunately, this war between black men and black women has created some really ugly fallout propaganda, which is there's some real ugly hatred of black men coming from some of our own black sisters, but also coming from black men who think that they are supporting black women and doing a good thing. And so in this case, people are actually joyous. They are happy that this man is going to go to jail for 20 years. Well, potentially, because he can always appeal. What the hell is wrong with us? What the hell is wrong with Black America? Like, why are we at a situation now where we're okay with, and look, I'll tell you some of the hateful shit that I've heard from black women, which is why I know that some of the black women who are glad that he's going to jail hate black men. They've started calling us bullet bags. Bullet bags. If you haven't heard that, it is so ugly and disturbing. There are black women who are literally saying they are happy when black men are shot and killed by the police. And they express their happiness by calling us bullet bags. In other words, we're just out here to catch bullets. And so I know I'm putting a whole lot into this, but there's a whole lot that is connected to this. This isn't just a man who shot a woman and he's going to jail. This is someone who we don't know if he shot her, but people are still happy that he's going to jail. And if you are not happy that he's going to jail, if you are not ecstatic that he's going to jail, then they will accuse you of hating black women. You see how thin this bullshit is? Which, by the way, isn't doing any favors for any black woman. It's making shit worse. And I'll do another live and talk about this, but all the negative propaganda, all the whole negative deficit perspective that some of our sisters are using when they're targeting us is causing a lot of black men to be completely indifferent when it comes to black women. You see? So nobody's winning. We're not winning. Both sides are losing. It's ugly. It's ugly because and I'm going to speak for black men, for black men if any group, any group is indifferent to our plight, if any group celebrates our demise, we can't really fully embrace that group with any kind of love. Look, we saw this with Kevin Samuels. I'm not even a Kevin Samuels follower, which is why I thought Tiffany Cross was an ignorant, funky bitch to talk so recklessly about black men. Tiffany Cross said when she was talking about us supporting whatever, I can't remember the chick's name in Georgia who was running for governor and got her ass whipped. They tried to blame it on black men. Turns out that even if all the black men who voted Republican voted for her, she still would have lost. But Tiffany Cross said, she summed us up. She said if all of these Kevin Samuels following, Tariq Nasheed quoting black men would just get in line behind smart women, we'd be okay. That doesn't sound like a bad thing. It sounds like that might be a good thing, except when you understand that really what that comes down to is her saying black men just aren't that damn smart. We're not smart. We shouldn't be out here thinking for ourselves. Preston James, what's up, brother? Yeah, we shouldn't be out here thinking for ourselves. We shouldn't be voting on our own. We should stop following the only two people that black men follow, and follow black women. Like, stop thinking. You know, she said it. And what's that monkey mud bone looking Sanders, Simone Sanders? She also made a similar statement because Luther Campbell didn't even say he wasn't going to support Kamala Harris. He said, I need more information and I'm not sure. To which Simone responded, I'm sick of black men giving their unsolicited opinions, which is basically, nigga, nobody asked you. Why y'all talking? Stop talking. Nobody asked. You're not smart enough to talk. You're not qualified to talk. I'm going to bring it back around. And so what's happening is that a lot of black men feel so disrespected and disregarded, we're getting to the point where we're just not going to participate anymore. Like, go ahead and have those conversations. We don't need to talk. It's cool because you already have shown a stark disregard and a stark disrespect for who I am as a human being. I get it. I get it. So why continue to argue, fight, back and forth, back and forth? Because I don't do it anymore. I'll just curse you out and move it around. I'm not going back and forth, back and forth. And here's what you're losing, black women. What you are losing when you get us to the point where we no longer want to dialogue, where we're starting to just move back, is now we have less of a chance of working things out. Not more of a chance. We have less of a chance of working things out. We can't work things out with you when we're not even willing to have discussions with you. Ronise, what's up, my sister? How are you? Yeah, if we can't talk, how are we supposed to work any of this shit out? But we can't work it out. We can't work it out because if we try to talk to some of you, all we're getting is shouted down. We're getting, oh, shut up. You just hate black women. I'm so tired of hearing that bullshit. I don't hate black women, but I'm a human being who has his own opinion. I am educated. I am well-read. I do research. I've been a journalist for 30 years. If you disrespect and disregard my viewpoint, number one, you're an idiot, and I no longer respect or regard you. And number two, I'm going to disconnect. And that's what's happening. So we know both sides, black men and black women, we know that we've got some issues. We've got some really serious problems. If we can't communicate, there's no way to work them out. There's no way to work them out. And so this case between Tory Lanez and Megan the Stallion has given black men, thinking black men who are aware, it has given us yet another example of how no one cares what we think. It's not even that we are mad at Megan. I'm not. I don't know what happened. So I'm not mad at her for wanting him prosecuted. I'm not mad that she said he didn't. Now she said it. I'm not mad at her because I don't know. Right? Because I don't know. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. There is no real evidence, so I can't make an informed decision. But what I am seeing in response to that whole debacle of a case, I am seeing black women and black men who think that unwavering support is love. I am seeing the hatred of black men. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the hatred of black men because what's happening is that we're being told to shut up. We're being told that if we have a problem with the case, it's because we hate Megan and we hate black women. And these aren't questions. They're not asking us. They're telling us. They're telling us, you hate black women. You hate Megan. And that's destructive. It's destructive. And so here's what we should take from this case. I mean, number one, we should be better about, wanting the law to be followed. We should be better about keeping our emotions out of these kinds of cases. But more importantly, we should learn how to discuss these issues civilly because we can't. We can. So anyone who knows me, who's been discussing things of this nature with me over the past few years, one of my favorite phrases when it comes to black men and women and the war we have against each other, it's almost over. It's almost over because both sides are rolling out. We're rolling out. And we, at some point, are going to just stop. We're going to stop fucking with each other. Black men and black women will go to other races, will go younger. We're seeing a lot of, black women who, you love to say, oh, black women aren't protected. But who's going to protect you when you're alone? Who's supposed to protect you? You don't have a man, you don't have a relationship with your dad. You don't have black male friends who are non-sexual relationships. Right? And I mean, and we're not having a picnic either. Black men aren't having a picnic either. But when we are in a situation where we can't talk to each other, it's pretty much over. It's pretty much over. So let me just, wrap this up with where I started, which is I need someone to tell me why, a legal expert, not the Facebook attorneys, because you people are retarded. I need legal experts, people who understand the law, to tell me how it's just to convict a man on gun charges when you have no physical evidence whatsoever, no fingerprints, no DNA, no gunshot residue on his clothing or on his hands. It's just some people who said, hey, he did it, and now he's going to do 20 years. That's a problem. And then I need for black women to really kind of dial it back a little with the whole telling black men to shut the fuck up, because we're not. Fuck you. You don't talk to grown men like that. It's making things worse, not better. We got to find a way to have a dialogue and talk to each other and talk our way through. And trying to shut black men down is just going to make it worse, because for every hysterical, angry black woman who is unreasonable and unwilling to listen, you have a hysterical black man who is unreasonable and unwilling to listen. And that hurts us all. So we got to stop this. Believe black women. No, you believe the ones who are believable. You don't believe every single one. Look, white women tried that. Believe all women. We saw that Amber Heard was a filthy, lying sack of dog stuff, dog shit. And so that doesn't work. You have to believe human beings who are credible. And in this case, I don't think Megan is credible. I don't. And I don't think the state is credible. I don't think the prosecution is credible. I just don't. And I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not defending him because he's a black man. I'm not even defending him. I am simply saying this case stinks to high hell because he's been convicted and they on gun charges, and there is absolutely no evidence. So I'm just saying, black people, we got to do better, and we got to do better when we talk to each other. We have to, because look, black women, you got to stop talking to us like dogs. You've been doing it too damn long, and a lot of us don't care anymore. I cuss your ass out, and it's not me hating black women. It's me loving myself, and you can't disrespect me because I'm not going to accept it. And that's where a lot of black men are. There's still a lot of little Nancy boys out there who are like, oh yeah, she was right, support black women. They also, love Biden. That's our president. You better leave Biden alone. Joey, he's a good guy. He didn't mean all that stuff he said about y'all, black people, that he said. But he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it. So these are the same people. So I'm just saying, stop to believe anybody. There's no group in this country, on this planet, where the entirety of that group should be believed. And I think we need to get to the point where we can start being civil with one another and having some civil discussions and talk about why there was no evidence, and talk about, why the discussions on social media are so destructive to already diminished and damn near destroyed gender relations to begin with. Black women, if you're going to hang your hat, if Megan Thee Stallion's statements, if those statements are the field upon which you will die in the battle between the genders, then you have died for nothing. For nothing. Because this case is shitty, it's weak, and I've seen, legal professionals who normally give their opinion on everything back the hell away from it because it's shitty. It's problematic. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I said, I haven't gone live in a long time, so I just wanted to hop on and throw that out there because this case stinks, and the way people are dealing with it and discussing it also stinky. So anyway, hope you guys are enjoying your holiday. Continue to do so. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever else you're dealing with, and then of course we'll be bringing in the new year. All right, take care, and I'm out. Peace.